we're doing a special event here called the Systems Builder event. And this came about through a series of people that have reached out to us. They're constantly reaching out saying, hey, Mark, hey, Cody, we know we want systems. We know that systems are important. We know that that's the way that it needs to be done, but we don't even know where to start. And it was like, well, let's figure out how we can maybe share the wealth of information that we've had and be able to really dig into some of your own businesses. So we sent out, for those that registered, we had what, 100 and
it was quite
a few names that registered for the event. We sent out emails to everybody, hoping that they would reply back, and we did get several replies of what is the biggest challenge that you have in your real estate business. And what I found was there was kind of a big gamut of options based off of who they were, where they're at in their business, and what they want to accomplish in their business. So what we want to do today is just take a few of these, and some of them were just what we did is we sent out an invite to meet with us and take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go over some stuff. We only had a couple people take us up on that, but we got lots of replies, and we're going to go through some of these. So as we go through these, what I really want you to think about is, in your business, what is your biggest challenge? And if you start thinking about what is that one biggest challenge in my business, start thinking about some of the things that we're going to show you here. How can that solve those problems? Because what I have found after 35 years of really helping real estate agents, I've helped tens of thousands of real estate agents with systems. What I have found is most of you have very similar challenges. So what we're going to do is go through that and show you how you can use some of these systems to be able to do the things that you want to do. So we're going to build the systems live. So on some of these, it's a matter of we've got limited time, so we're only going to be able to do parts of them, but we'll build as much of it as we can within a given time period for each person, trying to give enough examples to show you where to start. What is it that you're wanting to do in your business? So we're going to give fresh and immediate ideas, real world examples. I mean, honestly, these are things that came in from agents like yourself, and then also give some clear action steps to go through that. Jose, and he is online with us. Right now, the biggest challenge we're facing in our business is implementing the system we have in mind into our CRM. We know what we want the process to look like, but we're struggling to structure and apply it effectively inside the platform. We're a small team with 2 brokers and 3 VAs, so we're trying to find a simple, effective way to make everything flow without overcomplicating the setup. So, Jose, can you unmute? Are you at a point where you can unmute?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming on and actually doing this live with us. So, tell us a little bit about. Now, we had talked briefly yesterday, and it really helped a lot for me to kind of focus in on your particular needs. And because of your particular needs, I did kind of do some additional stuff a little bit ahead of time. So I'm going to go over some of that. But tell us tell us what we kind of talked about yesterday about your biggest challenge with operations side of this, the TC part of it.
Well, we have a we have a we have a system outdated, and I know with Sam we can do it more. But usually, what one of my what the team girls that as soon as we get a contract, we read the contract, we go there and do everything manually, copy and paste, trying to get all the information, and we're trying to set up where I don't forget the special, not the option period, is
All the dates.
Things that we're supposed to know, and we have to have it on the hands. If you wouldn't do it, I usually have it on my mind, but and I'm counting the days, and it's she's so busy doing something else. They today is the last day, or tomorrow, or is it tomorrow, or it's 5 o'clock, or let me take a look at it. So we go back and forth like that, and then when is are we closing this week or not? And things like that. So that's the main thing for us.
Perfect. Okay, so just as a little background, Jose did share with me a spreadsheet that they use to kind of follow through with that. I'm not going to share any of that, Jose, as far as that goes. But what I want to do is use what you had sent me kind of as an outline of how to do the process. And I'm going to show you what I did last night. It took about 30 minutes or so to go through and do some stuff. Now, one of the things that's really interesting about the real estate business, and everybody knows this, but I want to make sure that it's emphasized here, is that everybody's business is different, obviously. The thing is even if you're in the same franchise, or you're in the same, there's differences. Even if you're in the same city, sometimes there's differences. But everybody has different names of fields. They have different names of the dates that they use in their contracts. Some people have things that other people have no idea of. So one of the important things that I built into Sam's ability is to allow you to set up your own custom dates. So within the system, one of the things, Jose, that is really important to do is go into your setup area. You'll go into the menu options, and we can manage the date fields. And in the date fields, what I did in my account, and you may have already done this, I didn't actually check your account, but what you need to do is go in and make sure that all of the dates that you use are in here. So like the option money receipt date, the earnest money receipt date, the survey date, the HOA date, the title commitment due date, appraisal update date. These were all things that were in your document that you were sharing with me. And most of the, a lot of them, they were already in here, but there were some that weren't. So I went through and added them into my demo account. But basically, we're going through, we're creating these additional date fields into the system for the transactions area. The way Sam is set up, you've got a main contact database where all your contacts are. And then we've also got a properties area where it keeps track of the properties. A property is just the physical location, the physical building, the house itself, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, the photos, all the details about the house. And then inside of that area, we also have a section for keeping track of the listing. So, and you could have multiple listings on that particular house over time. So you can track all of that. Additionally, as you go through the listing process, once you get you've signed the deal, you got the contract signed, that goes into a transaction. Well, now we've got all kinds of transactional dates, and that's where we're looking at right here. These are all the different date fields that we want to make sure are set up within the system. Once they're set up, then you can go into any particular property. And again, these are just demo demo properties, not real properties. You can go into a particular property and you can look at all the listing information. You can look at the important listing dates. You know, if you're struggling keeping track of dates in your listings, you know, when is photography day? When is staging? When is, you know, all the different things? You can create dates for all of those. Likewise, whenever you get an offer on this, you can keep track of some offer listing offers, all the offer information. You can have multiples on there. Once that offer is accepted, then it goes into a transaction. And this is where we need kind of to work on for your business, Jose. We need to take the information that you gave me as far as the spreadsheet stuff, and we want to make sure that things are set up so that information in here gets filled out properly. Those important dates in here now will be available whenever you need them. They'll be available for you to use and fill out. Now, once you go through that process, then it's a matter of taking the process itself that is in your spreadsheet and breaking it down into our routines. Each individual date of something will build a routine. Now I'm going to go into the routines area here, and I'm going to pull up the one that I created last night for you, just so that we didn't waste a lot of time in here. Let me go to, this is a transactional one and real estate. So here. So think about this. We do everything as routines. If you think about what is the things that you do, what's your routine whenever it comes to the contract date? What are the things that you need to do during that once you get that contract and you fill out that you've got a contract, it inserts the contract date of today's date, then what do you want it to do? Okay. And you start looking at that spreadsheet that you gave me of all the different things. And this is kind of what I gathered, and I didn't spend a lot of time on this. It would really, it's part of what our navigator stuff does whenever we're, our co-pilot piece does, whenever we go through the process of identifying your business, your processes. We figure out the best path for getting all this put together. We can work with you on that, but this is what we would come up with. So similar to this. So whenever you first get that contract in there, you put in the contract and you put in a contract date, it would immediately start this routine automatically if it's turned on to be active. To do that, it takes these items that's in here and it throws it into your calendar at specific points in your calendar at the calculation. So on the contract date, it's going to do this verified dates on the contract. Another activity, a separate activity, it could be the same, but I like to break things up occasionally so that you don't put everything all in one checkbox and it just makes a big long list. On this one, the contract execution confirmations. So you're going to send out some confirmations to people that you got the executed contract. And then also you're going to verify some dates and party member things that you've got in there and signatures and stuff like that. So if I go into one of these, you can see that in this case, it is a verify the dates. So it comes up and it'll say, this is the setup for the activity. Whenever the activity comes up on your calendar, it'll actually have these items as checklist items that you can put in the dates. When is my survey due? Now you can look at your contract and you could actually put these in whatever order your contract is in so that you don't have to go searching for things, but go down the list. And when is the HOA docs due? Well, if you don't have HOA on this particular property, you don't have to fill it out. You can leave the date blank And if you leave the date blank, that particular routine doesn't do anything. You don't have to worry about it. But if you do have HOA stuff, you put in when it's due, then the HOA routine would kick in and do its thing. When is the survey due? When is the title commitment due? When do we need to schedule the inspection? These are all things that, based off of the contract, would already have date values in there of some sort, right? So whenever it comes due on your calendar, it pops up and says, hey, I need to do these things. Here are the fields, and please fill in the values. If they're already filled in, it'll show you what the date is. If it's not filled in, you can fill in the date, and then it'll put it into the database for you. That way it starts that routine and does what it needs to do for each one of these. So that's the first thing is whenever you get that contract, it's just making sure that the date fields get filled in from the contract. The next activity might be, well, I need to do some verifications and some validations. I want to make sure that do I actually have the contract file itself, as a PDF file or whatever inside of SAM. So you can do what's called a file validation, where it will let you select the file as part of an activity to make sure that it's put into the file for that transaction. Same thing for addendums. Do I have my signatures complete? Do I have my addendums complete? Do I have I verified the title company, the lender, the other agent, the clients? Do I have all that in there? These will be little checklist items on the activity that show up. They can be assigned to whoever on your team needs to be doing these. So if you've got a buyer's agent or a listing agent that, some event that needs to deal with those, you can do that. If you've got a listing coordinator, you can assign this activity to the listing coordinator. And then whoever the listing coordinator is for this, if you've got multiple listing coordinators, it would then allow you to select which person needs to be doing this. There's lots of customization here. But all that to say, we're now checking and making sure that values are being filled in and making sure that they're in the database without you having to know necessarily how to use the database. You're just going to your calendar and saying, yes, 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 yes. These are the things that I've got. You're doing a little checklist of things that need to be completed. If the checklist isn't complete, then the activity is not complete. And if the activity is not complete, it's going to show up on your dashboard every morning once it's due. And if it's past due, it'll show every morning until it's done, so you don't let things fall through the cracks. This is how we make sure that everything gets done and you don't lose those pieces. So building out the checklist, building out actions. Now, once this checklist is done, it's like, okay, I've got everything. I need to acknowledge to my buyer that we've got everything. So you can set up this to send a message to the buyer, their preferred method of communication or by email. If they choose that they prefer SMS, it would go out as an SMS message with a link, to whatever it is that you may be doing, or by email. And if I go into the contract execution, the workflow generator built this out. So, it may not be exactly what you want to say. If you've got content that you already have, Jose, that you want to put in here, copy, paste it in there. You might want to think about leaving some of the merge fields in there. If you don't want to do looking up of the merge fields, it's in there, but we've got all kinds of merge fields that you can use for the property information, for the people, for the party members. All that kind of stuff is there so that you can reference all of that information in here. Maybe you want to have a piece on there letting them know who your listing coordinator is, or who your transaction coordinator is. This is the closing side, so it'll probably be the transaction coordinator. And whoever that is in that party member field of that would be in those merge fields. So you can do all kinds of really sophisticated things, or very basic if you want, to be able to have the power that you need to be able to send out information that the people need at the time that they need them. It's what I call JIT, just in time information. So your goal as the builder of this is to say, well, I want to have all these different things based off of different routines. Now, this is just one date. What would we do for the home inspection? So if there's going to be a home inspection, what is it that we need to do? Well, one day before the home inspection, we want to do, some kind of email to the could be the listing agent or whoever the buyer's whoever's the agent is. Maybe you want to send it cross, it's not your customer, so you don't want to be mailing them, but you'd mail the agent that get for them to get it to their buyer or whatever. But you have the ability to specify what gets sent when, but you're breaking all of this. One big workflow is just a series of different routines, and the routines are just a series of individual activities that are related to a particular thing that happens. Whenever the home inspection date is assigned, these things kick in place and they get assigned onto your calendar. Here's that HOA. When is HOA due? Well, maybe it's just a date field that, I want to make sure that I get it. But maybe I got things that I want to send out to people, a few days before, a few days after, whatever, just to make sure I've got all my HOA stuff. The survey piece. Now, you're in Texas, so for Texas, you need to make sure that the T47 form is available if it's an old survey, right? So some of those things like that could still be checklists. Do I have the T47? And check it off. So things don't get dropped. Your fear of letting things fall through the cracks and not knowing when to get things done can be solved by setting up a routine that does nothing but remind you and your team when things are due. Okay. What's the other one here? Okay. So if the person is getting a loan, of course, it could be a cash deal. If it's a cash deal, you wouldn't fill out the financing approval date field, so you wouldn't have to do all these things. But if you do have financing, you'd fill out, when is the financing approval date due? And now these are the things that I would do whenever I know I'm going to do a loan of some sort on this piece. So you can have a single workflow that has multiple routines. Some routines will kick in, some will not, depending on that particular property, that particular transaction, whether it needs it or not. And if it doesn't need it, then it just won't show up. It doesn't bog you down with unnecessary information on your calendar. And likewise, the way you're doing it right now with your spreadsheet, you've got lots of things that's on that spreadsheet, and oh my goodness, that would confuse me. What is right for this person or not, and you're having to probably delete things out if it's not appropriate for them. So those are things that you need to think about whenever you want to build a system. Is what is it that I want to do on any particular key date? If there's a signature that needs to be done, if there's a due date, if there's an appointment, any of those are special dates that can be set up with a routine, and that routine just takes you through that process of what do I want to do if that date is filled out. Okay. I hit you with a lot, Jose. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, you mentioned yesterday that you can also upload like the MLS PDF to fill up like everything else, or it was an image or PDF on the transaction.
Yeah, so I am working on that. That's not available yet, but it is something that we really want to do. I am in contact with a provider that they provide that information. Every MLS is different. All the data is different. Pieces like that are a real challenge. But what you and I talked about, and it's very doable, I just don't have it available yet, is you could take your closing document, your contract, and actually upload it to a PDF, take that PDF and give it to Sam once we get this part done. I don't want to give too much away here, but Sam can go in there, scan all the dates, scan all the information, find the people that's involved, and automatically add it to the database. That's where we're headed. We don't have that yet.
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody understands we don't have that yet, but it is something that that's very doable.
Mark, I have a question for you. If there were a couple of things that I'm reviewing, because I have both with buyers and sellers, so I have the knowledge on both. But there are a couple of things that are needing to be added into this list. For example, to order the insurance, make sure that we order the appraisal. After the option period, you have to request the mortgage company that we're ready to order the appraisal because the option period has lapsed or the buyer's ready to move forward. So those are things that we normally make a call and say, hey, just so you know, the buyer's ready to move forward, go ahead and order the appraisal. And the insurance, after they go to the appraisal, then we make the call to the mortgage company again and say, hey, have you ordered the insurance? Or do you need some help in ordering insurance? So we gather several insurance quotes for the client. The other one is make sure that we have, after they agree to do some repairs, we want to make sure that we have the receipts on hand of all the repairs that have been done. So when we do the walkthrough, we have those receipts already and we're not searching around. And those are things that I, as a buyer's agent, request. So we'll be able to get more stuff into this. And
absolutely, yeah. Every one of these are customizable, and you can add additional routines. Think about each one of those things you just brought up. Think about what initiates it. What's that one thing that initiates it? Well, I get that the option date expired, or I've got a new option date, or whatever. It's a date field. Something happens at a particular date and time. In every case, there's something that it's a moment in time, and that's what you're building the routine off of. So whatever that, you just go in, click on a new routine. Now you can go in there and just set up a reminder routine and say, well, I want to create a transaction reminder routine on my option, or my offer accepted, or my option period ended. I can go in there and do that, and it'll create a new routine just for that one piece. And then for that option, if there's checklist items you need to add, you can add those in there, making sure that whenever this activity comes due, you know what you've got to do and you've got to complete. The checklist is there for you to confirm that you've got everything available, and then the action is there to let you do things automatically. So maybe you want to, one of the things might be, let me cancel this. Let me go back one. Maybe one of the things is to, just for instance, do I have receipts? Whatever, receipts, if I can spell it right. And you can make it as just a regular checklist, or you can do field validation where we could have a field here of, and I don't have one in there, I don't think, I doubt it. Receipt. Now recording date's different. You would add one of the date fields on there of received receipts, or received all receipts, or whatever, and you would know then what those are. And then you could also have a file validation where the file validation would let you upload those receipts to the system as well. So by the time this activity is completed, you'll know when you got them and which ones that you've received, and it'll put it into that file for that transaction so that then you can print them off or do whatever you want to with them so that you got them with you whenever you go and do your walkthrough. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, it's all about thinking about those key dates, those key things that actually trigger this, and then based off of that, what is it that I want to do if that happens? You know, the walkthrough scheduled, the closing. So on the closing, you know, what are the things that I want to do? Well, I want to coordinate on your schedule. It said something about 1 day before closing, coordinate with the title company, I think is what it. There were several things on there. I didn't go through all this, so maybe this wasn't on there. Some of this, what I did, just to give you guys a clue on what I did here, to build this out, I took a lot of what was in their spreadsheet. I went up to new routine, and I said, routine workflow. I want to build an entire routine workflow. And I came down here and I said, I want to build a transaction workflow. I named it real estate transaction process. And then I pasted in, for the most part, it was in a big spreadsheet and stuff, but I pasted in a description of that workflow, the entire process of what they do. If it was better worded and better formatted, not that it wasn't, you guys did fine. It would have been better if it was better laid out as far as of information. It will take that information and it builds the entire workflow from multiple different routines. This part right here can take 15, 20, up to 30 minutes to build out your entire workflow process. Will it be exactly what you want? Probably not, but it gives you a great starting point for you to go in and just massage what you want. Adjust dates here and there, adjust descriptions, add in some additional checklist items. You do the things that you want to do. But that routine workflow builder is the same as this builder right here, but it does all of them all at once. So instead of just doing one routine at a time, it does the entire workflow all in one shot. And that's how this one was built out.
You know how in ChatGPT you can upload a PDF or a Word document and add ChatGPT, hey, create this, blah, blah, blah. Can you do that on the SAM? Also upload it? And
yes, that would be an awesome way of doing it. If you've got a standard operating procedure of some sort, throw it into ChatGPT and say, summarize this. And then take that information and throw it into SAM, and then let SAM decipher the summary and go through the process. That would work as well. Absolutely.
But can you upload it here in SAM? So would I have to go to ChatGPT?
Well, that's kind of what it does in a way, because I mean, whenever you do the routine builder, this objective right here, that's what I did, is I took what you had and it kind of summarized it. I mean, I can do let SAM enhance this objective, and it does that. It summarizes it in a format. Then you could go in there and massage it some more if you wanted to, just like you can massage it in ChatGPT to get it exactly like you wanted, and then throw it in here. But it's the same thing. It's the same process. So either way. So once you do that, and once you go through that process, then the activities themselves get, whenever you turn all this on, and I didn't want to really turn this on for everything, but whenever dates get put in, it starts the activities for that routine. It puts it into your calendar. It shows you the checklist of things that need to get done. One of the things that we do have, let me just see, I'm not sure if it's in memory lane or not. Let me go to transactions and checklists. No, I don't. Let me see if I've got any in here.
Maybe somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time. Let me go somewhere in time. One of the things that happens is those activities that do have checklist items, they will show up as checklist items inside of the activity as well. So if you just wanted to go here and say, show me all my checklists for all my different routines, they'll be right here. And you can just go in there and check them off. Let me see if there's one in listings. Because I know we've got one that's got more items in there. Yeah, so like, do I have my listing agreement? Do I have my disclosure? And what it does is it basically gives you, yes, I do have it. And if I wanted to go in there and take a look at it, I can. But it's your entire complete checklist of things. So I could just, clicking on the I thought it was on there. Maybe not. All of your files that you have, you can tag them and do things with. So, I mean, there's lots of capabilities there, but all the different things that you do in your business come down to dates that are important, the due dates and all that kind of stuff. And your receiving of information, your appointments, all that drives what routines are started and what activities are created inside the system. And then you just get to a point where I've got all of my stuff inside of my calendar, so I can go in here and I can see individual activities. This one doesn't have anything in it, but it'll show me all my activities all in one spot for this particular property. Or I can go into my actual calendar and see everything in a calendar view of things that need to get done. Or if you're in your dashboard, anything that has to get done will show up on your calendar here. So you can't, I mean, it won't let things fall through the cracks. That's the important thing. So I threw a bunch of stuff in here. There's 31 things I need to do today. Here's all the different things. And each time I need to do something, I can, click on it. I can complete it. If the activity has some kind of action to do, I can say, yes, I want to add them to my call list in this case. And I can run that and it'll add that contact to the call list and it'll mark that item as complete in my list. So I don't have to worry about it. All these different things that need to be done, birthdays, follow-ups, all that kind of stuff will show up on your list of things that you need to do today. And once you complete them, then they'll show up. So I just completed that one. So it shows me which one I completed. So I can see at a moment's notice all the different things that need to be done. If I need to, if I've got calls to do, I can see all my calls that I need to do. I can go in and see what that list looks like. Who are the different people that I need to call? And if I need to call them, it creates the link there. I can click on Get Talking Points, and it goes to the record using AI to identify what can I talk to them about. Well, this is a check-in. Here's the objective of this. This came from a routine that had an objective of this check-in. These are the things that I want to do. So the talking points relate to the objective of what I need to do. And whenever I make that call, I can call either on my regular phone, or I can, if you've got the integration turned on with Twilio, you can set up your own Twilio account, pick your own numbers and stuff, and be able to dial out from Sam. Sam will then, let me see if I've got one here. I think on this one here, Sam will record that message. It will create a transcript from that message through Twilio, and it'll analyze the sentiment on it. It'll do some other stuff. Once you've completed that call, you can click on complete the call and mark it as complete, and then you're off, going to the next one, and go through each one of those as you go through the process. So things don't fall through the cracks with Sam. We keep you organized. We keep you in a place where you don't have to worry about things being left undone. Jose, any other questions or thoughts?
On the dashboard, you had a transaction for the contacts and the calendar. Is there any way, or can you see where you have a list the things to do on the transaction, not on the contacts? Are you following me?
That will actually be, it'll basically be in your calendar itself. If you have to make a phone call to somebody, if you have to do something with a particular property or whatever, it's going to be in here, and it will show you who am I supposed to be calling. It'll also show the property that, whatever it is, the links to those, and you'll be able to go right to them in that case, where you can just see that contact or whatever. So if you've got things on your calendar that deal with certain people on certain properties, they'll show up there on your calendar piece. Sam is kind of my dream system. It's the things that I've always wanted to be able to build in, and now we have the ability to do it. I want to help you guys. So it takes time. Everything takes time. A lot of times people will buy something and just stick it under their bed. I don't want that to happen. I want you guys to be using this in your system, have it as your system that you use every day. Whether you do it yourself or whether you do it with us through Copilot. Our Copilot program has been phenomenal for the people that we've gone through. I've gotten a lot of really great input, and the people that go through that are getting their systems in place with help, with professional help. I've been doing this a long time, just like real estate agents are the professionals for selling houses. I'm the professional for helping you set up the systems to sell those houses. I can look at what you do and see what needs to be set up and what needs to be done. It's just a matter of taking it and doing it. You don't need to be struggling doing that. If you're struggling, you're doing it wrong. And this is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing, and helping the agents figure out what processes they have, what they need, and how to make them better is what my life calling has been. So
go ahead and take us up on that 30-minute one-on-one coaching session, and let's actually build your systems with you. For 30 minutes, you just have undivided attention of us. We're going to prove to you how Sam is the system that can do it. Or if for some reason you're like, Cody, you've already sold me, say less. We have the ability for you guys to get access to Sam. We start at $89 a month for a single user. You can enroll in the Copilot program. That's a $3,600 investment. That's a one-time investment for that 8-week program. And we'll actually cover the cost of your subscription during that 8-week program. And then it's just $89 after that. So that's pretty cool too. But the last thing I will say is reach out. My email is cody@workflowsecrets.info. I've been emailing you guys all this time. Just hit the little reply. Mark's is mark@workflowsecrets.info. And if you have any questions, any thing that you're just trying to juggle with or trying to think about after this event, that's an absolutely valid reason to reach out. If you thought the weather was really nice, reach out for that too. But either way, we're here for you guys, and we will be going live again very soon. But I just want to thank you guys for attending, for showing up. Jose, thank you so much for being a part of this. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that.